Verse 1, Now when Jacob saw that there was corn in Egypt, Jacob said unto his sons, Why do ye look one upon another? And he said, Behold, I have heard that there is corn in Egypt. Get you down thither, and buy for us from thence, that we may live and not die. First off, you ever read something and you can hear it in somebody's voice that you know? You kind of almost hear it in your head, and it's like, I can hear so-and-so saying that. This is my daddy. Why are you standing there looking at each other? Go do something. I can hear my daddy saying that. In fact, I've heard my daddy say that. Why are you standing there looking at each other? Go on. Go. Do. And that was he said, why do you look one upon another? Why are you standing there looking at each other? Go to Egypt. Egypt has corn. Go. Buy. And just, as soon as I read it, I just started laughing. I was like, that's my daddy. I can hear my daddy. Oh, it's funny. My daddy's from West Virginia, and they have a work ethic in West Virginia. And he was one of 8 kids, so everybody had a job. They had a farm, so everybody had a task and everything. And so that's how he was raised. So his mentality is, if you see something needs to be done, just go do it. Yeah, don't wait to be asked. Don't wait to be told. Just go do it. And so it just, like I said, it just reminded me, why do you stand there looking at each other? Just go do it. I love it. It's funny. Anyway, and Joseph's 10 brethren went down to buy corn in Egypt. Notice, 10 brethren. But Benjamin, Joseph's brother, Jacob sent not with his brethren, for he said, lest peradventure mischief befall him. Well, what about the other 10? I don't want to send this one in case mischief befalls, but I'll send the rest of you.
Maybe because of what happened to Joseph. Mm-hmm. He didn't want to take any chances
with his faith. Exactly. You see here that Jacob hadn't learned a thing. He just replaced his favorite with another favorite.
That was the 2 babies.
That was the 2 babies. Mm-hmm. And it was the only 2 Rachel had.
Right.
So, you kind of see, but at the same time, it's like, but that's not how you're supposed to be as a parent. And that, it's obvious right there. I'm not going to send him in case, for he said, lest peradventure should befall him. If something happens, I don't want Benjamin to be there. The rest of you,
Y'all can handle yourselves. That's why he wanted them to believe.
Exactly. And you kind of sort of understand where these brothers have gone astray. It's like, well, with love like that, of course we're going to act the way we act. Just kind of a reminder to parents. The way we act influences kids, those who are watching, Even if it's not something that we necessarily teach them, they're learning anyway.
It's provoking not to wrath has many forms.
Exactly. Yeah, provoke not your children. And that, I think he was definitely provoking them to wrath. And the sons of Israel came to buy corn among those that came, for the famine was in the land of Canaan. Remember, we talked about it wasn't just Egypt. The famine spread. It ended up being worldwide. So everybody was coming to Egypt because Egypt was the only one who knew the famine was coming and took precautions. Okay? So everybody was coming. And Joseph was the governor over the land, and he it was that sold all the people of the land. And Joseph's brethren came and bowed down themselves before him with their faces to the earth. Where have we seen that before? Remember Joseph's dream? Mm-hmm. All the way back at the very beginning. You're going to bow down to me. And the brother said, yeah, right. Well, yeah, we'll never do it. Well, things have a way of happening. And Joseph saw his brethren, and he knew them, but made himself strange unto them, and spake roughly unto them. And he said unto them, Whence come ye? And they said, From the land of Canaan to buy food. Now, I can kind of see how Joseph would recognize them, but they wouldn't recognize him. As a teacher, you teach year after year after year. Well, those kids grow, but you don't really change that much because you've already grown. You're an adult. So they recognize you, and they're like, hey, Miss Rongione. And I'm going, I have no idea who this is. It's kind of familiar. But, some of my first classes are already graduating and have graduated. I don't recognize them, but they still recognize me because I haven't changed much. Praise the Lord. Since then, but they have. They went from 4 and 5 years old to an adult. I don't recognize them.
worse, right?
It don't leave you.
It didn't
Doesn't get better.
I know. But I can understand because remember Joseph was young. He was just a teenager and all these brothers were older. So maybe they didn't change a whole lot. But he, not only had he changed by growing and everything, but he was speaking the Egyptian tongue.
He might have been dressing like
He
that.
was probably dressed in the Egyptian garb because we know in the previous chapter we saw where Pharaoh gave him the robe and the rings so he basically looked like royalty.
What other clothing would he had?
Yeah, exactly.
And they never expected him to be.
They thought, yeah.
And we'll find out in just a minute. I don't think they thought even Joseph was still alive.
Yeah.
So they recognized him, or they didn't recognize him, but he recognized them. And then notice it says he made himself strange unto them and spake roughly unto him. I'm torn here, and I kind of want to get your opinion. Is he getting even?
Oh.
Is this anger coming out to speak roughly to them? I know who you are, and I know what you did to me.
Well, maybe he was shocked to see him.
Was he
and
shocked?
That was his first reaction was like, because I know when some people have done you bad and you see them years later, my first instinct is to draw back. And we're like, what do you want now? But then maybe softened up, thought about it.
Okay.
Maybe this was his first reaction.
That's a good point. Just kind of that shock and, this is my knee-jerk reaction. Okay.
Yeah. I think he was caught off guard. He didn't know how to act, so he was just acting differently.
Okay. That's a good point.
He was covering his emotions and using that,
kind of as a guard.
Attitude as a guard. Yeah.
I was the same way. I remember that those days. But now I've learned
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
that it hurts worse. And the meaner they are, and the worse it is, whatever.
Yeah.
The bigger your smile can be, it hurts somebody.
Oh, yes.
It kills them. Just smile real big.
Kill them with kindness.
Kill 'em with kindness.
Heaping coals of fire. That's what I was just thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kill him with kindness.
That's killing with
But
kindness.
he wasn't doing that.
No, he was
roughly.
speaking, and that's how I'm like, I'm kind of torn there. I'm thinking, okay, he's maintained his integrity through all he's been through. Would he blow it now?
Maybe he was doing it so they wouldn't recognize him because it says he made himself strange. So speaking roughly might have been strange for him.
That
It
was
normally does
kind of
Yeah.
that was kind of where I was leaning, and I was wondering if anybody else was going to kind of have that same idea. Yeah,
You're trying to be different, and acting roughly. He knew that different. That wasn't his
that
nature.
wasn't his nature. Yeah, I mean, some people are very soft spoken, so to hear them speak roughly, and he could be plaid. And I was like, that's an interesting verse to just kind of ponder for a little bit. What was his motive? What was his attitude during all this?
I think it was thrown off guard so he could find out about his daddy.
Oh, that's a good
His
point.
welfare.
That's a good point. Yeah.
And Benjamin.
Maybe it was a combination.
I think that's total.
Well, also a possibility of showing power that he could command them to speak what he wanted them to say.
That's true too. Look who's boss now.
Yeah.
I don't know, but like I said, it caught me off guard, and I thought, I'm gonna think about that one for a little bit, kind of maybe get everybody else's feedback. So he spoke roughly to them and starts asking them these questions. Where are you from? And they said, from the land of Canaan to buy food. And Joseph knew his brethren, but they knew him not. So tells him again, just to kind of make sure we've got that, And Joseph remembered the dreams which he dreamed of them, and said unto them, Ye are spies, to see the nakedness of the land, ye are come. Just that little phrase, Joseph remembered the dreams. Remember what Joseph named his son? Manasseh. Do you remember what that means? God made me forget.
Oh.
Not everything.
Right.
God made me forget the bad times, but he remembered the dream. He remembered the good things.
Oh, okay.
Manasseh means God made me forget. But it says, but Joseph remembered. So he didn't forget everything. I don't think he forgot the lessons he's learned. But he said unto them, You're spies. So here he's going on with this act or whatever it is, instead of just saying, oh, okay, you come for food, go see the so-and-so and they'll provide you with the food. He's going through this whole charade of
Wanting to get information.
wanting to get information, maybe wanting to get even. I don't know. I really don't know his motive here. I really don't. And I don't even want to try to guess at it. Guess what it could be, sure. But say, now Joseph is just mad right here. I don't want to say that because I don't know.
He's definitely emotional.
Well, I would be, yeah, I mean, you see people, like Jennifer said, you see people that do you wrong, and your first instinct is, I don't want anything to do with them, And then you're like, yeah, actually, I want to have a word with them. You go through that whole range of emotions. First you don't want to talk to them, then you do want to talk to them, but it's not nice talking, and,
Well, he wanted to know about his daddy.
Yeah, and so I'm thinking he's just kind of maybe working them up a little bit, shaking them up, unsettling them a little bit so that they'll be honest.
Maybe he's trying to figure them out.
Maybe figure them out. See if they've changed. He's obviously changed, and he knows that.
Right.
Maybe he's trying to see if they've changed.
Yeah, that's good.
So they said unto him, Nay, my lord, but to buy food are thy servants come. No, not spies. Not spies. I'm coming to buy food. Just food. We are all one man's sons. We are true men. Love that. Thy servants are no spies. I'm like, what do you mean by a true man? We are true men.
They're saying honest, right?
I would be what I would think, honest. We're honest men. Now, we'll see how honest they are, but And he said unto them, Nay, but to see the nakedness of the land you're come. In other words, you want to see how bad off we are.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You want to see how bad off we are. You're spying to see. Going on. And they said, No, thy servants are 12 brethren, the sons of one man in the land of Canaan. And behold, the youngest is this day with our father.
We're not on the right page.
Are you not on the right page?
No?
It's right. Youngest stays our father.
Okay. And one is not.
Oh. Okay, yeah. I see it now.
And one is not. The youngest is to stay with our father. True. Benjamin's. Mm-hmm. And one is not. Is not what?
Not Joseph.
Is not around. Is not alive.
Oh, I never saw that before. And one is not.
One is not.
I never saw that.
One is not what?
Well, not with us is what he's trying to.
But notice, we are true men, and yet that kind of leaves that hang, and one is not.
Yeah.
It kind of leaves that half truth is still a lie. I'm sorry, it is. One is not kind of implies to me that he's dead.
Yeah, agreed.
I mean, if somebody told me, he's not
with us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But where is
but
not with the father?
Yeah, but if you're going to say that the youngest is with his father and the other is
not with the father,
is with, why wouldn't you say where the other one is? Why would you just say is not? Because you couldn't say the other one we sold after we threw him in a pit, and we don't know what happened to him after that.
No, we sold him into slavery.
Yeah, as I said, after we threw him in a pit, then we sold him into slavery, and we can't tell you the rest, because we don't know.
No, we don't know what's with him.
Yeah, can't tell them that, so we'll just because we're true men, we can't tell them that. We'll just say he's not. I wanted to see Joseph's face right then.
Agreed.
The one is not. I'm not, huh? So Joseph goes on. Joseph said unto them, That is it that I spake unto you, saying, Ye are spies. He just keeps on, bless his heart. Hereby ye shall be proved. You can prove yourself. You say you're true, man? All right. By the life of Pharaoh ye shall not go forth hence, except your youngest brother come hither. Again, here we kind of see where he's checking up on Benjamin. I want to make sure Benjamin's not being treated the way I was treated.
Yeah, that's true.
And that Benjamin really is home with Dad and not in a pit somewhere or sold off to slavery.
And that he's not also.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not.
Yeah, that he is not. Yeah. So I want to see your brother. You bring your brother, then I'll believe you. Very smart. Send one of you and let him fetch your brother, and ye shall be kept in prison, that your words may be proved. Whether there be any truth in you, or else by the life of Pharaoh, surely ye are spies. And he put them all together into ward 3 days. Well, there's some just
strong.
Yeah, there's some just punishment there.
Yeah.
I'm sure he was keeping an eye on
And
I'm
maybe
sure he
that
was.
the punishment for those days. To
Hey.
sell somebody into slavery that done no wrong.
That could have been.
That was the normal punishment.
That could have been.
Well, he probably put them in a ward that was not like the rest of the wards.
And you got to remember, he knew the prison keeper really well.
That's true. That's true.
So he could have said, these guys are to be treated like royalty, you know?
Well,
I don't know.
Don't treat them like the rest.
You know?
Keep them on a plane.
But I don't think he wanted them to.
But then I think
Yeah,
at the same time,
If they
What
had
this
done
is what we
wrong.
did.
Yeah.
Ours.
because he'd been in prison, we know at least 2 full years. So, I mean,
At least they could do.
what was 3 days?
3 days
Yeah.
from what I did.
What was 3 days in a prison
Think about
compared to 2 years? At least 2 years. You know? Maybe even 3 years. So 3 days, 3 years? That's
And
fair.
And the misery of Potiphar's wife.
Well, yeah. You know.
I think it was just his insurance policy to see.
To see Benjamin.
Agreed. He
That-
had to have something to hold
and
over them.
Providence is Jacob.
Yeah. He needed some leverage, basically.
He
Right.
wanted to make
He
sure
needed
they
some
would do
leverage.
that.
Yeah.
It's
And-
tough
If they
love.
got their coin.
It's tough love.
Yeah, that's good.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You know? I think if it was my brethren, my siblings, because I have 8 siblings, what would I
Oh,
do
wow.
if I saw them? And they did that to me and I saw them years later? I'm not sure. If I would just want to go hug them and love them and say, here I am and I'm okay, or if I want to throw them in jail.
If I'd want to say, you suffer what I've suffered. Yeah.
But he knows how cunning they are. So keeping them in a place where he could watch over them and them not escape because they would try to escape. If
Probably.
he gave them someplace nice to stay.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. It's a tangled web right here, and it's hard to understand what's going on in Joseph's mind through this. It's like, are you just mad? Are you trying to get even? Are you just, like you said, having the leverage? I don't know,
Doing
But-
what he had to do.
just doing what he had to do. This is the only way I see to make sure that my family's taken care of.
And he was thinking off the top of his head quickly in the situation.
And he was good at that because that's what they left him in charge to do.
Agreed.
So,
I mean, and this is what he did day after day. People came in, they asked for food. He determined whether they were there for spy related, or if they really needed food. I mean, this is what he did day after day after day after day. But don't think he expected to see them. I don't know. And Joseph said unto them the 3rd day, This do and live, for I fear God. I kind of want to put that emphasis on the I. I don't know. I fear God. You may not, but I do. So,
Oh, that's cool.
we're going to go ahead and let you go because I fear God and I don't want to be punished for doing something wrong. If ye be true men, like you claim to be, let one of your brethren be bound in the house of your prison. Go ye, carry corn for the famine of your houses. But bring your youngest brother unto me. So shall your words be verified, and ye shall not die. And they did so.
Okay, so they put him in prison.
They were all in prison.
Okay, I thought the rest were held in prison while one went back to get Benjamin.
That's what he said. That was what he said initially.
Yeah.
He said, I'm going to hold all of you, and one go get him. Then he comes back and says, well, let's do it this way because I fear God. I'm going to hold one of you and let the rest of you go.
now was
Okay.
that after the 3 days?
That was after the 3 days.
Okay.
So maybe during that 3 days, God kind of pricked his conscience, maybe he just had time to calm down and settle down and actually think about what he was doing instead of that reaction, got to think quick, Maybe he had time to say, should I really keep all of them and just send one? That's not going to look good,
Well, he was probably thinking his father needed the food, too. And
Right.
he wanted to get it to them as quickly as he could, but being
Right.
smart about it.
And if you only send one, how much food can one carry back?
Right.
As opposed to, sending 9 of them,
Right.
So
Then you wonder who they left in the jail.
it's going to tell you.
Why not?
Unfortunately, we're out of time.
My thoughts was which one? I don't remember which one. I don't remember.
It's going to tell you.
Well, I'm gonna
You'll
read
have to
it.
go home and read it.
I cannot wait till next
Because there's 38 verses and we're on verse 20, and it's 22. So,
Oh, well.
and I know he didn't say about choir practice, but I'm going to assume we're having it. So I'm going to try to get us out on time. So we'll just stop right there where one's going to be kept, 9 of the 10 get to go back. But if they want any more food, because That's not going to last them for long.
Or 16.
If you want any more,
How much?
yeah, it'll get you through for a little bit. But if you want any more, you got to bring back your youngest, so I can make sure you are who you say you are.
That's where he changed his
And
mind.
to relieve the other one.
And of course, yeah, there's other ones sitting in prison going, "Hurry up, guys, I'm still here." You know, so it's an interesting chapter, and that's why I kind of wanted to go verse by verse. There's so many little
Nuggets.
Yeah,
Lots of nuggets.
I mean, even just like the little phrase, and one is not. One is not what? You know, just either. It's very interesting. But we'll leave it there, and we'll find out next week, or you can go home and read it for yourself.
Yes.
Find out who's in prison.
See who got left.
It's the cliffhanger, the Sunday school cliffhanger. Yeah, that's verse 20. So
It's just the first is it back too.
Agreed.
There's more than that.
It gets even better.
it does. It just
Yeah.
keep getting better and better. It's an awesome
Yeah.
story.
Yeah,
Awesome
it
story.
does. It's wonderful. Yeah. It is almost a soap opera.
It is. It really is. I mean, the dysfunctional family, and you got the crisis, and yeah, it's better than soap opera. I think.
Oh, agreed.
I just think it's much better.
Yeah. By him keeping the youngest, if he kept one middle ways or whatever, they might not have been as interested in getting that one. But being the youngest, they wanted.
The youngest is the one that's home
He's
with
not there
Jacob.
yet. He's not there yet.
Yeah.
He's still with Daddy.
The youngest one's home with Daddy.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't.
Daddy
know.
wouldn't.
you can-
Yeah, Daddy wouldn't let the youngest one
Benjamin-
come.
His biological brother, his only one.
Yeah, Benjamin's
Yeah.
still with Daddy.
He wasn't allowed to come in case something bad happened to him. Because we don't want anything to happen to that son. So, anyway, we'll pray and then we'll be dismissed.